Hey, 7th grade. This is your math lesson for Tuesday, March the 31st. So lesson 136 is due on Tuesday. That's what we will go over just a little bit to refresh our memories, to check a few of them. And then lessons 137 and 138, the odds are due on Wednesday. So we will go over both of those lessons just to see a little bit what's on them. On lesson 136, we talked about absolute value. So if you have your paper done for 136, you can check a few of these out. Absolute value is simply the value of a number without its sign. So you have negative 15 and positive 11. The absolute value is simply 15 and 11. Okay, so the absolute value of positive 15 and negative 15 is 15. Simply take the sign away and that number is the absolute value. Okay, so understand that. So for example, number 1, the absolute value of positive 10 is 10. Number 2, the absolute value of negative 15 is 15. Number 3 is simply 3. Number 4 is 0. Number 5 is 2. Number 6 is 3. Number 7 is 8. Number 8 is 7. All right. So number 9, the directions are write the number with the greatest absolute value. So you're simply looking at absolute value. You're not looking at whether it is negative 11 or positive 3. The absolute values would just be 11 and 3. So the number with the highest absolute value would be, for number 9, would be negative 11. Okay, you should write negative 11, not just 11, even though the absolute value is 11. So for number 9, you would write the number with the greatest absolute value is negative 11. Number 10 would be 10, plus 10, positive 10. Number 11 would be, they're equal. Okay, the absolute value of plus 4, negative 4 are the same thing, 4. And that is what you do there. Okay, so absolute value is simply the value of the number without the sign, without the plus, without the minus. All right, that is all we're going to look at on 136. We will come back to that idea of absolute value in lesson 138. First of all, 137, removing decimals in equations. So we have these equations where we needed to remove the fractions. Now we need to remove decimals. So the example one, I'm just going to put this on the board and walk through it. 2.5x equals 30. 2.5x equals 30. All right, so the deal is we do not want decimal points in these equations, just like we don't want fractions in the equations. We figured out how to get rid of the fractions in the equations. How? What can you do to both sides of this equation to get rid of the decimal point here? What can you do to 2.5 to make it so that the decimal point disappears, or so that the decimal point comes over here? What do you do to 2.5 to simply make it 25? All right, multiply it by 10. You have tenths, so if you go 10 times 2.5x equals, don't forget to go 10 times 30, right? Okay, you see what's going on? To get rid of this 0.5, to get rid of the 2.5, you multiply it by 10. You multiply it by 10, it becomes 25, actually. No, we're right, okay? We're right here. 2.5x times 10. So now, make sure you multiply by 10 on both sides. 10 times 2.5x becomes, simply move the decimal point times 10 over 1, right? So this becomes 25x equals, what's 10 times 30? 300, right? And now we're ready to divide. Ready to do the division step. 25, and I'm just going to put it like this. 25x divided by 25 equals 300 divided by 25. What is 300 divided by 25? And that will be x equals 25 into 300 would be 1, 2. Is that right? 25 into 30 is 1. That'll be 5, 50. 2 into 50 is 25 into 50 is 2. So it's going to be 12. X equals 12. All right? Sorry about my stammering around. You want to get rid of the decimal. In order to get rid of the decimal, you know that to move the decimal over here, one place, you simply multiply by 10. Multiply by 10 on both sides. 10 times 2.5x, 10 times 30. 2.5 times 10 is 25x equals 10 times 30, 300. Divide them both and you have x equals 12. All right, let's do one where we have decimals on both sides. One where we have decimals on both sides. Split that. How about 0.72x? 0.72x equals 2 times 2.52. 2 times 2.52. All right? Two decimals. One here, one here. Both of these are in the what place? So this is showing what? Tenths, hundredths. Tenths, hundredths. So we multiply by 100. To move this decimal point over two places, you're multiplying by 100. Here, to move it one place, you multiply by 10. Here, to move two places, you multiply both sides by 100. So we have 100 times 0.72x equals, and you can put the 100 anywhere here, 100 times 2 times 2.52, right? Recognize this, 100 times 2 times 2.52, all right? What does the times 100 do to the 0.72? 100 times 0.72 moves the decimal point over two places. So now we have 72x equals, what's the 100 times 100 going to do over here? All right, here again you have decimals, so we can move this over two places here to take care of that. So now we have 72x equals 2 times 252. Okay? So what is 252? Keep this the same. 72x equals 252 times 2 is what? 252 times 2 is 504, right? Divide this by 72. Divide this by 72. What's 504? 72 into 504. 7 goes into 50 about how many times? So 7 into 50. 7 times 7 is 49. Let's try it. Excuse me. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 times 7, 49, 50. X equals 7. Okay? Two decimal places means you're multiplying by 100. That moves the decimal point over two places. Here you have a decimal point, so multiplying by 100 takes care of that decimal point. 72x equals 2 times 252. 72x equals 504. 72 divided by 72, 504 divided by 72 gives you those answers. All right. Now let me erase that and check out. Here, let me step aside a little bit. That is lesson 137, which you're to do the odds on for tomorrow. And let's look quickly at 138. 138 is talking about the addition of signed numbers. All right? So adding, this is all about addition. Okay? Lesson 138, addition of signed numbers. All right, how would you do this? -8, and this is all addition. They don't show it, and -7 equals, and this is all plus. They don't put the plus in, I wish they would, but this is all addition. Your numbers 9 through 20, 9 through 28. You're adding those two signed numbers in 9 through 28. Okay, they don't have addition signs, and numbers 21 through 28, they just have them beside each other, but you're supposed to be adding those two numbers. So -8 plus -7, or +3 plus +2. All right. Now get this into your head, okay? If you are adding two numbers with the same sign, -8, -7, +3, +2, okay? You simply add the numbers up and put the sign with them. 8 plus 7 is what? 15. Keep the sign the same. +3 plus +2, okay? You add +3 and +2. Just go 3 plus 2 and keep the sign the same. Okay? Please include signs. Okay? We're used to writing +5 is just 5. But in these exercises, please put the signs in. If the signs are the same, -8, -7, you simply add the absolute values of those. 8 plus 7. Okay, remember absolute value. And put whatever sign is in the equation with the answer. Add and put the negative. Here, you add the absolute values, 3 plus 2, and put the positive sign when they're the same. Okay? If the signs are the same, you add the two numbers and put the sign that is there. Okay? Got that? All right, excellent. What about if the signs are different? All right, remember you're adding. Well, yeah. So what is the sum? You want sum. It's addition. But what if the signs are different? What if we have a +5 plus a -7? All right? Or a +8 plus a -3. Okay, this is all talking about the sum of these two. So what is the sum of +5 and -7? What is the sum of, step over here, what is the sum of +8 and -3? Now listen to me carefully. Okay, these directions are in 138, so go back to 138 if you're not sure. If, and I mentioned this in one of your lessons previous, if the signs are different, so you have a positive 5 and a negative 7, you have a positive 8 and a negative 3, okay, and that can be switched around, it makes no difference. You can have the positive 5 on the bottom and the negative 7, it makes absolutely no difference how you do this. If the signs are different, subtract the absolute value. Absolute value is 7, absolute value is 5. Go 7 minus 5, which is what? 2. And put the sign of the largest absolute value with it. So your largest absolute value is 7. This is negative, so this is negative 2. Okay? Subtract 7 minus 5. 7 minus 5, and put the sign by the largest absolute value in the answer. Over here, positive 8 and negative 3. What is the sum of them? If you go 8 plus negative 3, subtract again. 8, subtract their absolute values. 8 minus 3. 8 minus 3 equals what? 5. What's the sign by the largest absolute value? Positive 8, the absolute value is 8, negative 3. So you have positive 5. If your signs are different, subtract the absolute value, 7 minus 5, put the sign of the largest absolute value by the answer. 8 minus 3 equals 5, largest absolute value symbol, plus 5. That is all you're doing in the odd ones from 9 through 28 it is. Okay? That's what you're doing. All right. Check that out a little bit. And I think that's all. Thank you.